Hi Wargamers, MiniGamePainter here with Lady Mech.
Hi.
We just finished up this new Helbrute kit. We're still working on the base. We've pinned it, so we just put it on here for observational purposes. But this is a really neat model. It is pretty tricky when it comes to putting it together, so I suggest really using the directions until you get used to it. There's a number of pieces that have to match up perfectly for it to be put together well, or you're just going to be ripping it apart and putting it back together. So, especially the main chassis, the main body. But this is a fully magnetized piece. It comes with a number of different magnetized locations. There is a tricky part to this, that there is a limiting factor of shoulder pads, and there's a limiting factor of this kind of elbow to shoulder pieces. So you have to be very careful when putting this together so that you don't glue it and then go, oh, I need to magnetize that. So this thing is pretty important. So we'll just take this arm off and we'll start with the other one. So like I said before, there's a couple of pieces that come off right at the elbow. And then you have the heavy flamer. And the trick with this is, and I still have to clean up the magnets, is that you drill a hole into the, this part right here is angled, kind of rounded off. So what you have to do is take a knife and cut up this way, cut down that way, and make a flat surface so that when you put your drill bit in, it's a lot easier and it doesn't, like, you know, trail off on you, and you can get a good fit in there. So the auto cannon, you got the heavy flamer, then you have plasma cannon. It has a neat little Nurgle glow to it for the plasma. It might be tough to show up on camera, but it's a neat little, like, a series of greens with like highlights. And then we have the twin link las cannon. Now this part is a little tricky because it comes with a midsection that attaches on, and then on top of that there's another magnet on the inside, and then there's the las cannon attachment, and then the multi-melta, which is very tiny but good pull, so you can get that. I mean, this piece is super tiny, so you have to again cut it flat and then drill your magnet in, and it has to be all flush, or else you'll have it kind of gaping out, kind of like that, and it'll look ugly. So if you drill it in flush, it'll fit in nicely. And then obviously the last part is the power fist on this side. So that came out very good. And there's a heavy flamer in the palm of his hand. And then there's a little bit of an eye decal on there that Sachi brought out with a nice series of blues. Now, on the other side, this is when it gets a little tricky. First of all, this thing is really easy. I forgot the name of the part, but these little tentacles are a pain in the butt. So you gotta be very careful, read the directions, make sure you fit it in the correct spot, or you're just gonna have to cut them and make it work yourself. So this whole thing is super easy. This whole kit, what I love about this kit is it comes with so many options. Normally it comes with a hose that comes from this armpit to the main chassis, and they also give the option of these little, I don't know, power nodes or something. So you can put them in there and make it look towards not just an empty spot. So I'm glad that Game Workshop planned ahead on that one. The next option on this side is the missiles. And what's really neat about the magnets is that on these is you drill it in on this side, drill it in on this side, and there's kind of like a series of teeth around here that really help you get a strong pull as well as it doesn't spin on you or get droopy on you with other magnets. So it's a good solid hold. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. Like I said, there's limiting shoulder spots. So power fist. So with the power fist, and this is a little difficult, but what you have to do is saw underneath the shoulder plate, so where you get an extra piece. That way it'll allow you to, and then use some green stuff to form another shoulder or a mid upper arm in order to attach it to the shoulder. This is a little tricky with green stuff and it takes some time, especially to make it a little more nurgly. I use some of the extra hoses to make it look more, and I use the scraper to kind of make a little muscle definition as best as I could. So it actually worked out very well. There's a little bit of a gap, but that's pretty damn good considering. But before this hammer arm comes with up to about here, and then it has like this weird piece that comes up that glues in to one of the shoulder plates for this. And I'd rather have this, there's so many delicate pieces to this that I'd rather just have this all one thing and not have to worry about it. So I cut off the power arm and use the hammer or the power fist. And I think it came out really well. So still working on the base. That is the coolest option right there. That is just badass. So still working on the base. As with any cork, I always pin them. And it's a super easy model. Little challenging on the paint, little challenging on this part right here, and then the magnets itself. I want to say I have somewhere in the ballpark of 18 to 20 magnets into this bad boy, but it gives you all the options and you can play them however you want. So till next time, let me know what you think in the below. Hit subscribe and let me know if you have any kind of comments. Those eyes are really neat in the front. Did a good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy wargaming.